Hello and welcome to BETV from Buttercross Estates. My name's Daniel and this is Abby.
Hiya.
We are going to do every week a video just to help educate people in property. We'll also talk about properties that have come to the market and what we would recommend as a buy-to-let investment. So today, first off, we're going to be talking about what's good to look for in a property investment. So we're going to have a chat just a bit about that, give some top ideas. So looking at properties this week, what's come to the market? I know we've had a quick look.
Not a lot really this week. It's been
anything of interest?
Not particularly, no. Well, I've had a quick look this week, and to be honest with you, there's been 9 this week for less than 150 and 14, I think it was, for less than 180, and pretty much everything was reduced. Throughout the 9, there's only 2 new ones, and one was actually a relist from when we last looked. So there's actually only 1 new property on the market, and just by increasing it by that 30 grand, we still only went up to, I think it was 4 new ones, and what was there just wouldn't make great investments, if I'm honest with you.
Okay.
So nothing really this week.
Okay. So hopefully next week there'll be a few more that will come to market which we can talk about.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Okay. So when you look at property, what makes a good investment property when you're looking?
It really depends what you're looking for, to be honest. Main thing is obviously make sure you're happy with your budget, have that in mind, and then just sort of seeing what you can get for your money, and in particular, let your property that you go for sort of reflect the kind of tenant you're after. So if you're happy to have a family, then you go for a 2 or 3 bedroom property. But if you're looking for, say, I don't know, a professional person living by themselves or just a couple, then realistically, yeah, you probably only really want a 1 or 2 bedroom property. Okay.
So start with the end in mind. That'll be your advice on that side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. So say I was looking for a 3 bedroom property.
Yeah.
Where would you say? Putting you on the spot now.
Yeah, I don't know. Balderton's very popular for families, we find quite often, because they tend to have things like parking as well with them. You can get your property up to about 150 for that. Town centre, you'll get a lot more choice anyway for less than 150 on 3 beds, but you are looking at terrace houses. So it depends. The ones in sort of town centre, you've got other things that appeal to people. So you've got the train station, you've got the schools.
Yeah.
But again, that falls into you're going to probably get a family. 3 beds when you go slightly further out, yeah, you just might get a bit more money for your money. So a bit more money for your money, a bit more house for your money even. Okay. So yeah, it just really depends what you're after. Okay,
that's good. But location is probably key, I would say.
Location is important. If you're going to go for something, like I say, just factor that in mind. So if you're going to go town centre, either go right in the middle or go for something, say, on like Charles Street or
Newton Street and
Newton Street, Vernon Street, those sort of ones, because they're really good for families, in particular for like the academy. That area as well, it's near enough to the industrial estate, so people are quite happy to walk that distance.
Yeah.
And again, if you go even more central, like Appleton Gate or Northgate, you have got the train stations there.
Yeah.
So they're quite good in that sense.
So when we look at conditions of property, obviously you've got new builds out Fernwood Way, you've got some being built on Middlebeck.
Mm-hmm. Which proves to be very popular. Yeah.
What are the tenants like? New, old?
Excuse me. Well, from the new ones we have had, they've proven to be extremely popular, especially the one we had on Middlegate. That went down very well.
Yeah.
And the ones up at the top of Beacon Hill Road as well. We've got Lavender Way and we had Lily Lane up there as well. They do seem very popular when they come on, and you do seem to be able to get that bit more money than you would have done for an equivalent size if it was an older one. Even an older one that's been done up, there's definitely that appeal of something newer. But I wouldn't be put off by an older property, especially if there's room for improvement. Get it at the right price, and you don't mind doing the work yourself, you'll actually find you'll probably end up with a better return. But yeah, if you're going to go older, it's still got to be the right kind of area. So like, there's the one that could do a bit of work on Lime Grove. It's not really the right price, but if you did that up, you've got a chance of making a bit of money on it.
That's the one that you've seen.
Yeah,
that's the one you've seen that's been on with another agent before, and it's now.
But it was, it's currently on with Newton Fallowell, but it's not new to market. I have seen it before. It's got quite a scary bathroom, and the kitchen's Yeah, the rest of it's okay, but there's just those two main things, and kitchens and bathrooms are things that fairly tenants struggle to look past because they don't mind decorating, and that's fine, I get that, but I appreciate when you don't own a house, why would you want to rip out a kitchen and a bathroom?
Exactly.
So they are the main ones where you think,
yeah,
I should get that sorted out.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point about the condition of property.
Yeah.
For me, I think I always would recommend that someone, if they're looking to buy a property, would either buy one that needs a full refurb or one that doesn't need anything doing to it.
Yeah.
I think those properties where you can see someone's had a go and they've tried to do something, always you end up having issues.
Yeah.
We've had
very true.
A couple of landlords recently who've bought properties, and after they've bought them, they've had electrical tests carried out, and then
of course
they needed a full rewire. So that's a very expensive start to property, and that will wipe out all your first year's profit really.
Yeah.
So
it's just important to check things out though, isn't it? So you can see if it's only got 6 fuses on there, there's no way is that going to be up to scratch. So like you say, it's something to factor in, and I think in the past we've had landlords sort of pay £3,000, £4,000, £5,000 for rewires. So it's certainly not. It's not a cheap thing if you get it wrong.
And what else would you look for in a property? What the key things?
What if it was an old?
When you're walking around, what do you?
What do I look at? If it was an appraisal point, of course, yes, it's just the initial things. So things like boiler ages, are the windows blown? Sounds really daft, but are the windows blown? And if it's got a bathroom or a shower room and it hasn't got an extractor fan in it, even without a window, or with a window, I probably would still advise it if you can.
That's a good point.
In the grand scheme of things, it's quite a small cost outlay because it's too easy for there just to get a bit of a mould build-up. It usually causes drama more than anything else, mould does, unfortunately, it's just one of the things that looks a lot worse than it is, and it's so easily done. All it takes is tenants to be showering, not opening that window, and that's it. You'll know within like a month or two you'll start getting black dots all over the ceiling, and then there's a real crossover between tenants panic because they think it's the landlord's fault, and then actually invariably it's very much just a preventative measure. It's just a case of educating tenants a lot of the time.
Definitely. But those fans and ventilation certainly helps with from our job in terms of managing it and just dealing with the
like the little ventilations on the windows as well, if properties have got those stuff, things like that really help and actually just stop you even getting to that point in the first place.
Perfect. So when we're looking at property and in April 2018, the minimum energy efficiency standards came into force.
Yes.
Can you remember what that was?
So it's got to be an E or above. Anything less, you're not legally allowed to let out.
Okay, super. And those changes applied to new tenancies only. But from April this year, 2020, that will apply to existing tenancies as well. So if your property has an EPC rated F or G, then you will need to upgrade them, make improvements to the property to improve that energy efficiency.
Quite often it's really easy stuff though. It doesn't always have to be the scary stuff, but when you have your EPC done, there will be advisories on there for you on what you can do. You don't necessarily have to go to that enormous list. Sometimes it's just simple stuff like changing light bulbs and potentially windows, but nothing too hideous.
Okay, but it's always something to look out for when buying a property, and
definitely
in the future that level and that bar will raise. So at
that's
few
what
years'
they're
time,
certainly
I think
expecting.
they'll be outlawing EPC properties with EPC rated E. So you should really be looking at properties D or above. I would say if you're looking at buying a property now, then that would be our tip really.
Yeah, definitely.
Along with that, we've talked about boiler age. We've talked about energy efficiency. Touched on fans as well, and things like the consumer unit, like you've said. So make sure whenever you're buying property, get your electrics tested. Costs you anywhere between £120 to £150 or £70. But that'll save you a lot of money potentially if there are any issues on that side.
Most definitely.
In terms of yields and rent amounts, say we were looking at letting out a 2 or 3 bedroom property. Give me a rough idea in terms of what a property would let for? Say a 2-bedroom terrace in
I was just about to say, yeah, depends. It's a 2-bed terrace. Well, that will still ever slightly depend on just how small it is. But yeah, if it's on the small side, you're probably nearer like 525. But if it's maybe a little bit more spacious, maybe 550, pushed into 575 at a good age. Good quality even.
Good quality.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And say if we were looking somewhere a bit bigger, maybe a 3-bedroom semi-detached property, maybe you've got a driveway and garage. What would we look at?
Then we're creeping up to like 650 to 700.
Okay.
Yeah, and if it's nice enough, maybe even a little bit more. But yeah, certainly around that neck of the woods.
I think we let one for Newton Street for
we
720.
Did. So 725, something like that. Yeah, it was nice house that.
Yeah, a lot of character that one, wasn't it?
The period features do seem to really help. So I certainly wouldn't write off an old house altogether. And sort of, if you were going to have an older one, keep those nice quirks, because it does seem to have it's gone down well when we have had the odd one. They have gone down well, definitely.
Good. And we'll push you a bit further now. So we're looking about a 4-bedroom property.
Oh gosh, okay. When we start reaching 4s, we're looking at like townhouses and things then.
Yeah. So I think Fernwood maybe.
I was going to say, Fernwood's, if you look at like a 4-bed townhouse in Fernwood, you're probably looking 850, something like that. It's just going to depend. We let the one on I think it was Cameron Lane, I think it was, but they were quite small, those rooms, so that's nearest sort of 775. But a good sized one, you're looking like 850.
Okay.
But yeah, the area depends as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, obviously properties are so unique, location varies, the style and size of the property varies as well. So it's always best, we're on the other end of an email or a phone call if you want a bit of advice in terms of a specific property. But those kind of ballparks will land you in good stead if you are looking for a property like that.
Yeah.
Brill, I think that's probably all for now. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week to talk about hopefully a few more properties that we can.
A bit of luck, we'll have something we can talk about next week.
And then we'll cover a different topic as well, which should give you a bit more advice in terms of buying and letting a property. So for now, thanks very much.
Take care.